I want to talk to you about cash advance apps that use ADP. Okay, so here's a review I want you to pay attention to. The first cash advance app that uses ADP is Earnings, and Earning provides cash advances of up to $100 per day or $750 per pay period, and they use ADP, not a problem. And Earning actually bases the amount you can borrow on your history using the app, as well as the verified employer earnings information gathered through a timesheet, your work email, or GPS monitoring at your work location. And what they have been doing lately is that they also will accept an official statement coming from ADP on your behalf that sort of talks about your pay information. There is no interest or mandatory fee, though you can opt to tip up to $13. So standard transfers arrive in 1 to 3 business days, and if you need the money sooner than that, you can actually pay up to $4.99 for a lightning speed deposit to your debit card. And this type of transfer takes up to 30 minutes. And Earning actually works with ADP in a very streamlined fashion, in the sense that they can verify your information electronically via your ADP records. There's also an optional Earning Visa debit card that allows for up to $300 per day in fee-free cash advances. On your next payday, Earning will actually withdraw the advanced amounts and any tip or lightning speed fee from your linked checking accounts. So the comparable APR here, if you take a 1 week $100 cash advance and pay, let's say, a $5 tip and a $4.99 lightning speed fee, your APR will be around 520%. You could always avoid this cost with Earning by getting a standard free transfer and not paying the optional tip. Okay. You also have a Earning balance sheet. So the balance shield automatically advances $100 if your bank balance goes below a specific limit. You can also monitor your Vantage score for free with the included credit monitoring score. Plus, you always can have your employer directly deposit your pay in your Earning account to access the funds up to 2 days early. The optional paycheck router feature can then deposit a portion of the money in your linked checking account. So this is kind of fantastic. The second cash advance app that works with ADP is Dave. And so when you think about Dave, I want you to think about an extra cash feature within the app that provides cash advances of up to $500 per pay period. With a qualifying checking account, you can actually get an advance as a regular employee or a freelancer, since Dave considers your typical bank deposits and spending rather than your work hours. You must pay a low $1 monthly fee to access advances, but tips are also optional. And you can also set things up with Dave actually through ADP. Okay. And once approved, you can get your advance in 1 of 3 ways: debit card, Dave spending accounts, or automated clearinghouse. So you can have an ACH transfer to an external bank account. Let me break it down for you. So when we talk about debit card, this takes an hour or less and costs $2.99 to $13.99. The Dave spending account takes seconds and costs $1.99 to $9.99. And for ACH transfer to an external bank account, this can take a few days but has no fees. So when you take out an advance, Dave gives you a due date of your next payday for steady employment, or the next Friday for less regular income. And so you can repay it early as soon as 4 days after you take the advance, or Dave will automatically withdraw the funds. And it's important to remember that repayments can take up to 24 hours to process if you use your linked debit card or your linked ADP account, and up to 5 business days if you use an ACH transfer from an external bank account. And in terms of a comparable APR, let's say if you take a 1 week $100 cash advance and pay a $1 monthly fee, $2 tip, and $4.99 transfer to a Dave spending account, this compares to an APR of around 417%. You also have the Dave spending account. So this app has other helpful personal finance features, including Dave spending, which is basically a checking account that's insured by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation and lets you access your pay at least 2 days early. There is also a high yield savings account with goal tracking, and Dave's Side Hustle Board gives you access to surveys and side jobs to boost your income. That's really good. Now, once you boost your income, the tracking of that income is not happen through ADP though. I mean, everything happens through the Dave's platform. If they actually find you the job. I want to talk to you about Brig. So when you think about Brig, this is the third cash advance app that works with ADP, and the Brig app offers cash advances of $50 to $250 with its instant cash feature. There is no credit check, but you will need to have a bank account with a balance of above $0, history of 60 days or more, and at least 3 regularly occurring deposits from the same job or other qualifying source. And this qualifying source could also be ADP. And the Brig app has a $9.99 monthly fee for its Plus membership, which is required for access to instant cash. This is the difference from the difference between Brig and the other apps. In other words, if you want to get a cash advance from Brig, you gotta really be part of the Plus membership. So be very careful if you're going with Brig. You can't be just the regular membership and just say, you know, I want the cash advance. You gotta be the Plus membership. And Brig gives you 2 options for receiving cash advances. You have a standard transfer, and then you also have express transfer. So when we talk about standard transfer, basically your cash gets deposited in your bank account in 2 or 3 business days, and it's really free. And the express transfer gets deposited on your linked debit card within 30 minutes and costs 99 cents to $3.99. So this is an important element. So Brig's cash advance come with the benefits of letting you pick the due date, which is usually set as your next payday. You may repay the advance early, let Brig withdraw it automatically, or request repayment extensions without the late fees. Let me give you the comparable APR here. So if you get 1 week $100 cash advance from Brig and pay the $9.99 monthly membership fee and $3.99 for an express transfer, your APR will be about 729%. Now, what about other Brig features? Well, Brig has a pricier monthly fee than with Dave or even Earning, for instance. It offers tools for budgeting, saving, and earning money. So Finance Helper lets you track and analyze your spending, while Earn and Save lists jobs and other ways to earn cash. Both tools are available with the free version of a Brig membership. I also want to talk to you about Chime. So Chime is another cash advance app that works with ADP. So while the Chime app doesn't offer traditional cash advances, it can give you $20 to $200 in overdraft coverage with a free optional Spot Me service. And to be eligible though, you need to have a Chime debit card and ADP account linked to Chime. And you also need to have a checking account with at least $200 in monthly direct deposits from an employer or another payroll source such as ADP or Wave or Zero. And so the Chime app reviews your account and spending to decide your Spot Me limit. What happens here is that they actually look at your inflows and outflows, so kind of have your monetary transactions. And so when they actually reviews your account and spending to decide your Spot Me limit, this means what? It means that your limit could vary at any given time. So when enabled though, Spot Me coverage applies automatically and only to Chime debit card purchases and withdrawals at ATMs. And what happens also is that Chime collects the money when your next deposit reaches your account, and usually that deposit will come from ADP. So Chime knows that they have already established a conduit between your account and the ADP account. There is no fee, but you can choose to actually tip. It really depends on you. And there are other Chime features that we thought were really interesting. So other Chime benefits include its large network of more than 60,000 free ATMs and a high yield savings account with automated savings options. The app also advertises early access to paychecks with your Chime savings or checking account. Plus, you can use a Chime to send money to people's debit cards too. So this is kind of cool. On top of that, you can use the Chime checking account to make purchases, deposit cash, and use ATMs. So this is in terms of stability. The Chime app is a pretty good app a pretty good cash advance app that works with ADP. You also have Current. So Current is another great app that works with ADP. So similar to Chime, Current offers a fee-free overdraft protection, and this happens in a very straightforward way. For example, you only get the fee-free overdraft protection if you sign up for its checking account and debit card, and you can get between $25 and $200 in coverage with their program called Overdrive. And the Overdrive program is really good, especially if you are going to be with Current for a while. You might want to check out the Overdrive program. And so to qualify, you will need $500 or more in monthly paycheck or government direct deposits, which is higher than competitors' minimums when you really think about it. And so the Current app sends a notification if you are eligible to enable Overdrive, and they can send this to you directly, or they can send it to your ADP account. And like Chime, Current sets your overdraft limits, and it can change depending on factors such as your account activity. So those are apps that really look at your ongoing transactional cash inflows and cash outflows. And Overdraft from Chime or from Current, for instance, sends a notification, right? So basically, Overdraft only covers purchases with your current debit card. The coverage will apply automatically once you opt in, and the app will tell you when it does. As with Chime, Current will take the money from your next deposits to repay the overdraft, and there is no fee. There is no fee. I just want to insist on that, because when you have a program that actually creates a transaction between ADP and your employer, you'll never have fees there. Okay, there's no fee. And other Current features. Now, Current highlights getting access to direct deposits up to 2 days sooner with its checking accounts, especially when you have a direct conduit with ADP. And you can also get a higher yield savings account that lets you divide your money across up to 3 savings pots. So the savings pots are kind of critical if you are going to be doing business within the Current ecosystem. Having this sort of configuration is really, really important and desired anyway. Let me talk to you about how the cash advance apps, especially those cash advance that work with ADP. So cash advance apps are popular alternatives to payday loans. They typically give you access to a portion of your next paycheck, up to a limit set per day or pay period. And these funds may be deposited to a debit card or into your checking account. And what happens here is that when payday arrives, the mobile app usually withdraws the advance amount and any fees from your linked bank account or from your ADP account. And these payday advances do not involve credit checks. An app instead reviews your employment information, your ADP information, checking accounts, and borrowing activity to decide your eligibility and loan amounts. And advances are usually interest-free, though you may pay a fee or optional tip. A loan app may also charge extra for express deposits. So this is an important element to think about. So to apply though, you must meet the cash advance app's eligibility requirements. The connection that you should necessarily have with ADP or any other sort of a reliable payroll service. And this often include being a U.S. resident who's 18 or older, having a steady job with verifiable deposits, and linking a checking account through a supported bank. And when you make an account with a cash advance app that works with ADP, you will provide your personal, employment, and banking information for a review. And if you are luckily approved, you might get your advance within a few days if you have it sent to your checking account or to your ADP account. And for faster advanced needs, you can choose a cash advance app that works with a debit card and pay a fee for an instant deposit. And some other cash advance apps that work with ADP simply provide overdraft protection. While these don't offer traditional cash advances, they still can hold you over until payday. And so you'll need to sign up for the app's associated bank account to qualify. But that's really good. Now there are benefits benefits and drawbacks of using cash advance apps. So let's talk about the benefits first. Well, benefits of cash advance apps: that work with ADP include getting money quickly and conveniently. And the application process is relatively quick. You can have the money within minutes with an instant deposit or in no more than a few business days for regular deposits. If you have poor credit, you'll find cash advance apps that work with ADP more accessible than most loans because they do not require credit checks. Since they may have no mandatory fees, they can also be more affordable than payday loans that are available for people with bad credit. And so according to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, if you take out a payday loan for just 2 weeks, you could pay a 400% annual percentage rate depending on which state you live in. And cash advance apps may include features for managing your money too. So this include automatic savings program, credit score monitoring and spending, and budgeting tools. So that's really cool. And now there are drawbacks of cash advance apps. And one disadvantage of using cash advance apps is the potential cost. While there is no traditional interest, you might need a monthly subscription or feel tempted to tip. And if you need an immediate deposit, that adds to the cost. There is also another risk since these apps use automatically, they will withdraw the loan amounts and any fees from your checking accounts on your payday. And if you don't have enough money in your account and don't have overdraft protection, you could end up with overdraft fees from your bank. And in some cases, your bank could close your account if overdrafts happen a lot. Plus, using cash advance apps may cause you to rely on advances to cover your everyday spending. While quick cash can help you out when you are in trouble, it doesn't solve financial issues such as poor saving and financial habits. Let me give you a few effective tips for using cash advance apps that work with ADP properly. It's important to really understand that if you normally don't struggle with bills, using a cash advance apps that works with the ADP or not may actually make sense in an emergency. Only if we are speaking about emergencies, okay? Now the problem is when you need to rely on cash advances or overdraft protection regularly, that really creates a big problem. Why? Because this practice puts you in a cycle of borrowing and you lose the money to fees. So before turning to a cash advance app, consider options such as loans from family and friends. If you do need a cash advance or overdraft coverage, understand the risks involved. You should only move forward if you have no doubts about covering the amounts and any fees on your next payday. And this is kind of cool because the whole thing is that whether you have the cash advance apps being transitioned, the cash advance being transitioned into your ADP or being transitioned to a similar accounts is not going to solve the problem because optimizing your finances is important for reducing your reliance on these apps. If your app tracks your spending or warns you about a low account balance, use these features to recognize where you might be spending too much. You can then target those expenses or look for an extra income source. And this is pretty good for you to really track things in the long run. Now, starting an emergency fund will also help you need fewer cash advances, so you can begin with small deposits from your paychecks until you build up a few months worth of expenses. Just avoid using this money for everyday expenses you could budget for. So the bottom line here is that when we talk about cash advance apps that work with ADP, well, as long as you use them responsibly, cash advance apps that use ADP actually can provide a temporary financial help until your paycheck arrives. And we actually recommend those 5 that I just spoke to you about, Earning, Dave, Brig, Chime, and Current, to actually help you, especially in terms of their availability and their speed in processing your request. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I spoke to you about cash advance apps that work with ADP. So here is a review I want you to think about. So you have Earning, Dave, Brig, Chime, and Current. And I also talked to you about the benefits and drawbacks of using cash advance apps that use ADP. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.